my friends, in today's vlog, interesting vlog, we've got Ange here, and a couple of weeks ago we spoke about her booking her holiday to Malta, and it was a complete nightmare. All the tests, everything to organise, all the cotton wool buds stuck up your nose, into your brain, everything. Certificates to say that you've had both your jabs and both your pricks and whatever. And no, we're not talking about Boris Johnson and one of his sidekicks. We're not going into that. What we're going to go into today is how your holiday was, what the experience was at the airport, when you got there at the airport this side, when you got off at the other side, masks in Malta, coming back to the UK, everything. I've got loads of questions for you, as I'm sure questions.
Wow.
And you're very brown. And one of the questions, don't worry, isn't where are your white bits? Don't worry about that. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe and click that little bell for notifications of when I upload new videos. And also give this woman a thumbs up. There's a little thumbs down there. Tell them, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Anyway, without further ado, my friends, let's go. Okay, my friends, so have you had a good holiday?
A great holiday, Lee. It was really good.
Well, you look very brown, I have
Thank
to
you.
say. Was it warm over there?
It was so hot. It says on the, when I looked at the weather, it was going to be in its 30s. There was actually a board that was down the road in the square, and most days it was 41. But 2 weeks before it was in its 50s, and the people were saying it was so hot.
Scorchio.
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 It was hot. It was even hotter than when we was in Tenerife.
Oh my word, you're kidding.
It was hot.
Was it as nice as Tenerife?
Yeah, it's really nice. I don't know if I'd rush back there, but the hotel and everything I was in was
Okay.
lovely.
Very good.
Yeah.
Right, let's get down to business. First of all,
Come on.
we won't go into all the issues that you had before you went. We did the videos on that. If you want to see them, by the way, the links are in the description down below, and I'll also stick the original one up here somewhere as well, and you can go and have a look at that. First of all then, you get to the airport, you took off from Manchester.
I did.
What was the experience like when you got to Manchester?
Really good. There was all organised. Eventually there was all organised. So we got to I flew with Jet2, not sure if you can say it, but I will say it.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. Got to the check-in desk, I went with my friends, we all checked in because of all we'd gone from, we're supposed to have the COVID certificate, and then they'd taken it off, so the panic was like, I wasn't sure if I was going or not. So we got there, checked in, everything was fine, went straight through. On the aeroplane, they did ask us to wear the masks all the time in the airport and on the aeroplane, which I expected that
When you got to the checkout counter, where was you actually asked for your proof of vaccination?
When we checked in.
When you checked in,
Yes.
and you had to show your papers then, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it digital that you showed, or?
It was digital, yes. It was all done on with your app and everything, because the confusion was that Malta wasn't allowing the NHS app in,
Yeah.
and they wanted the certificate, but then within 24 hours they removed it and let the NHS app in.
Okay, so there was no issues at the airport
issues at all.
whatsoever.
The only thing that I did have before we went, and is what they asked for, you had to have a test before you went. So I had my test, and then that night they removed it. So you didn't need it. So it was a shame, really. It was £100 each, that test, that we could have not done. But we had it. We had everything ready to go. So all these tests that I've had, and the experience of going, the flight was amazing, and then when we landed there, it was so hot. The hotel was absolutely amazing. Everybody was so chilled out, and that's it, really.
When you landed at the airport in Malta,
Yeah.
was there anything there? Was there any temperature checks?
Yeah,
Was there any other checks?
Yes, there was a temperature check as we got there. So we queued for about 25 minutes going through, and they check all your details then. So you had a passenger locator form going out, which we filled in going out, and you handed it in, and they checked things on that, which was easy. There was no complications or nothing doing it. And then we just got straight through, and there was all your minibuses and things waiting at the other side to take you to your hotels. There was no problem whatsoever. Whether it was just my flight or the people that came in, everybody said that they thought it was going to be more hassle than it actually was. So if you're an organised person and you can do these things, and it's not hard by any means, it's literally go and like your paperwork was easy to do. There was no problems of sorting any of it out.
Okay. And also, when you got to the hotel in Malta, how was that? What was the experience
when we got to
there?
the hotel in Malta, they checked our temperature, and they're just your normal passport, just handed the passport in, so there was nothing else that they required then. But before we came home, you had to have a test done 72 hours before you returned.
What, in Malta?
In Malta. So
Right.
we'd already booked ours in the hotel.
Okay.
But quite a few people that I met over there was going down into the town and having them done. So they varied between €35 and €50. But we'd already done ours. We'd already done ours with the hotel on.
And what was it? What did that consist of? Just cotton wool
just
bud
the
into
cotton
your
wool
brain
up your
again?
nose. Yeah. So I have actually got a brain.
Yeah. They just stick it right on past your eye
Yeah, she
into
wasn't
your
very
brain.
pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she just did it, and then those results came back in 20 minutes. So
What did you get from that result? Was it an email or a piece
It was
of
an
paper?
email and a text message that I
Right,
got from
okay.
it. So
Now-
you have to, but then to return back home, you have to prove at the airport that you've had that test done there.
Is that at Malta Airport?
Yes.
Right, okay.
So when you check in at Malta Airport, obviously you need your anybody that's going for these tests, say Malta, make sure you take your passport with you, because they do ask for your passport and all your ID information that's
Right.
on there. So you
Okay.
do need your passport when you're going for the test.
Okay.
So pretty straightforward really. So on our return from the airport, I came back last night, got to the airport, I thought it was going to be a nightmare. They opened the check-in desk for getting in. When we got to the check-in desk, we'd done the passenger locator form. You have to do it on your phone and that to return. On that form, you have to prove your 2-day test that you've already booked and paid for returning. So mine, I ordered mine and they came to the house while I've been
So your
away.
locator form to get back to the
Yes,
UK,
you have to
prove that you've had that test.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have to.
Do you give the details of where you've had it done?
No. So at the airport, you prove you've had your test while you was in Malta in 72 hours. When on your passenger locator form to return to the UK, you have to put down your number for your 2nd day test, because you have to have a test 2 days after you return. So because I returned yesterday, I will have to test myself again tomorrow to make sure that I haven't got anything.
Yeah.
And then I can either drop it at a box or it can go in the post. It was done by the one that I did.
So you're off to do another test tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah. When you landed at the airport in the UK, back at Manchester, did you have to show anything there? Was there a separate... Nothing at all?
Nothing whatsoever. It was all done at Malta. We came through, they just checked us passports and everything and just came through. It wasn't, honestly, I thought it was going to be really stressful at both airports. There was nothing, there was all organised. As long as you're organised yourself and you've got everything covered, there's no problem. There was a young couple at the airport yesterday, and they'd been for the test 72 hours before, but they hadn't booked the 2-day test to return back to. And you can't fill in your passenger locator form unless you've booked your second day test, because it asks for the reference number of your test. They wouldn't let them fly.
They wouldn't let them fly?
No, they wouldn't let them fly.
Blimey, so it's pretty strict.
Yes, pretty strict.
And how much was that 2nd day test?
£65 each.
Okay, so it's not cheap.
No, I mean you could probably get them cheaper, but I did it with the company that I went through in Newark, that I did our test that we had before we went out.
Okay. Now, when you got there,
yes,
and you was in Malta,
yes,
any issues then?
None whatsoever. A lot of people were still wearing the masks, walking around. We didn't wear our masks because you didn't have to. You only have to wear a mask in Malta if you're like public transport or in bars and restaurants.
Okay.
And the shops.
Okay, so it was, I mean, it didn't sound like it was too stressful, but there is a lot more to it, and you've got to fill in forms, you've got to be organised and fill in forms, and if you don't do it like that couple, then you're not going to be able to get on the plane, so you're going to end up stuck in Malta until you actually do it.
Just please check the Gov site wherever you're travelling to. It does change daily, as it did for me, but keep on it, keep checking. If you're not sure, ring and ask questions. I rang Jet2 2 or 3 times. It was amazing on the phone. I was on hold a few times for half an hour at a time, but they was there with the answers straight at the end of the phone. So whoever you're travelling with, they're all, you know, they've got their information. That's what they need.
Right, so all in all then, a little bit more of a faff, but sounds like you had a good time.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
It weighed up all the worry that I had for going.
And you are a lot more relaxed now.
Yeah, and then, you know the pool, Lee?
Yeah.
It was a saltwater pool, and I was just starfishing in it.
Starfishing?
Starfishing, just relaxing. I didn't sink, even though I need to lose quite a few pounds still.
Starfishing?
I didn't sink.
Starfishing?
Starfishing.
Sounds a bit odd to me, that one. Anyway, we've got lots and lots of warm and hot weather coming to the UK, so you can have a staycation here if it's too much of a faff. Looks like you brought the hot weather back, Ange.
I did.
Anyway, that's it. That's all for today. Remember, hit that thumbs up for Ange. Come on, it's just down there. Hide the chat or whatever. Turn your phone portrait and give it a thumbs up for Ange. Go on. There we go. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.